Language learning is full of ups and downs, and I had to go through that journey twice. Once with English, my second language, and then again with Italian, my third language. And it took me 10 years to truly learn this one lesson I'm going to share with you in this video. This lesson is going to help you with speaking English fluently and confidently in real life, because speaking a language in the real world follows different rules than what we learn in classroom. So if you're stuck at an intermediate level, or you feel shy, scared, or stressed when it's your turn to speak, this video is for you. So my language learning journey started with one belief. If I speak a perfect English just like a native speaker, I'll be able to do whatever I want. So as a result, I aim for a perfect grammar, perfect accent, and speaking with no mistakes. And every time I made a mistake, I felt ashamed or embarrassed. But when I started using English in real life, like studying, working, and living in English, I realized something very important. That mindset of perfection worked for school, but it wouldn't work in real life. In real life, what you need is this: speak fluently, speak confidently, and communicate effectively. So let's talk about each of them. Fluency means speaking without stopping to translate in your head. It means thinking directly in English. But here's the problem I got to understand. Trying to speak perfectly actually hurts fluency. Why? Because perfection creates fear. Fear of making a mistake, fear of being judged, fear of being laughed at. And when you're afraid, your body reacts in 3 different ways. It either freezes, runs away, or fights. It's called the fight or flight system. And here's how it shows up in your language learning journey. You freeze when it's your time to speak. You run away from presentations. You hide your true self, or even getting defensive when someone corrects your mistakes. So what's the solution? Stop chasing perfection. This is what actually helped me too. I started building a lifestyle around the English language. I used English as a tool, not just the final goal. I learned life skills, worked on personal growth, all in English. And that changed me and my life too. For fun, I started reading books in English, watched movies and TV shows in English, listened to podcasts, journaled my thoughts, and even talked to myself all in English. And most importantly, I enjoyed this process and journey. So that's how I trained my brain to stop translating and start to think in English. As a result, I became fluent little by little. I wasn't perfect, but I could express my thoughts when I wanted to. Achieving fluency is a great step, but it's not enough. And I didn't realize this in the past, that speaking fluently is different from speaking confidently. I realized this because even if I couldn't speak well, I only spoke in safe situations. For example, when I visited the U.S. for the first time and I was surrounded by native speakers, I started to freeze again and I would hide myself. I couldn't show my true self. I knew what I wanted to say, but I wouldn't say anything. That's when I learned another important lesson in real life. Confidence doesn't come from the same practices that builds fluency. Reading and watching videos online will not make you a confident speaker. Confidence comes from taking action and stepping out of our comfort zone. I had to face my fears. I had to speak even when I was afraid, and I had to face rejection. It wasn't easy, but that was the only way to grow that confidence muscle. Another thing that helped was that I started doing these practices when I started changing my mindset first. So the next time it's your turn to speak, feel the fear, but say something, even if it's small. When traveling, go to a stranger and ask something in English. If you make a mistake, see it as an opportunity to grow. And that's okay. That's part of your learning journey. And that's what you need to make your confidence muscle stronger. Stepping out of your comfort zone and doing these practices will help you to believe in yourself more. Now let's get to the final thing you need in real life. So when I was fluent and confident, I thought, well, that's it. And I decided to become an English teacher when I was 19. But there was still one more thing I had to learn. And I didn't learn it until I moved to Italy to study and live in an international context. And it was this. In real life, the most powerful skill is the ability to connect and make a positive impact. And that doesn't come with a perfect English. That doesn't come with a fluent English. And that doesn't even come with a confident English. Of course, these skills can help and they are essential, but I realized that the ability to connect and make a positive impact comes with learning about effective communication. And no one teaches non-native speakers how to do that. Instead, non-native speakers get lost in the world of seeking perfection with their English, perfecting their grammar, perfecting their vocabulary, and perfecting their accent. But learning how to communicate effectively is a very different skill. It's also a very powerful skill. Think about it. Even if you don't have time, money, or connections in real life, if you know how to communicate effectively, you can have access to the time, money, and connection of other people. You can build partnerships, attract opportunities, and grow professionally simply because you can create positive connections with other people. And I believe this is a superpower. Imagine this. You want to start a business, but you don't have money, no connection, and no time. But if you know how to express your ideas and connect with others, you can convince investors, find partners, and build a network just through effective communication. Isn't this a powerful skill? And effective communication isn't just about knowing English, it's about how to use the English language. It goes a bit deeper. It's about really listening, not just to the words, but to the emotions. Using your voice, tone, and body language. Understanding how people think and feel. And you can learn this skill even with an intermediate level of English. And you don't have to wait. So stop chasing perfection and use your time working on this skill after achieving fluency and confidence. And remember, you want to use the English in real life. You don't want to be a linguist. So for you, language is just a tool and connection is your final goal when learning a language. So after 10 years of living in English, here's what I know. Stop chasing perfection, but first build your fluency through immersion. Then speak before you feel ready and build your confidence through action even if you're scared. And finally, don't just learn how to talk, but learn how to connect and make an impact. And that's a different skill. And you can start doing that even with an intermediate level of English. And these are the things that you need for speaking English in real life. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you'd like to speak English with a holistic approach, check the link in the description. Now, let me know in the comments section what you think about speaking English in real life. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.